I'm Mario Trono from the Department of English Languages and Cultures. I'm a film studies instructor, and my teaching tip is every semester with all my students, I like to do an assessment that is oral in nature. You can call it an oral quiz, an oral test, an oral interview, and an oral exam, whatever you like, but the idea is the same. The students rehearse one-on-one with me their conversance with and understanding of course materials. I like to do forms of oral assessment because in an age of artificial intelligence, I don't need to tell my colleagues, it's getting increasingly difficult to be able to assess students' conversance with and understanding of course materials exclusively through written assignments. But when you're face-to-face with an instructor saying what you do and do not know, it's very difficult to fake that conversance. And that gives you an opportunity to not only assess where they're at, but to do a little teaching along the way as well. I've been doing oral interviews, I call them, with students for over 10 years, and I've never heard them knocked in anonymous teaching evaluations or had any expressed concerns to me given, which tells me that it must be working. Well, the impact of doing oral assessments is manifold, really. First of all, I do it 3/4 of the way through a semester. So it gives students an opportunity to review 3/4 worth of the semester's material. Secondly, it gives them confidence in terms of being able to converse with an instructor that sometimes they're intimidated by. But that leads me to a couple of tips that I have. First of all, I let students know that it's an informal mode of assessment where they don't have to sound like Jeopardy champions. I also put them at ease by saying they are allowed to glance down at, but not read directly from, a single page of bulleted points. Because if we don't teach memorization skills, which we don't often at university, we can't expect it. But with the oral interview, it gives students an opportunity to gain confidence in speaking and to rehearse knowledge orally, which study after study shows is an excellent way to make sure that what you've learned is operative in your thinking. Here's what I suggest instructors do if they want to try this oral form of assessment. You tell students that questions will be available ahead of time, and that takes a tremendous amount of stress off them. But then you explain that they have to know what they're talking about enough that they can just answer the question improvisationally, even if they have to glance at their notes, which they're allowed to do. But then you may, as an instructor, ask follow-up questions. And again, to put them at ease so they don't feel like they're being drilled or interrogated, you say that the idea is to help them towards getting as many points as they can, and those counts when the supplementary comments from them arrive. You post a sign-up sheet through Google Docs. You tell them how this form of assessment is going to work at the start of the term, and you could even pay a little honorarium money to a student from a previous course to make a short video showing how a student and you might interact. That sometimes there's a moment of laughter, that the interview begins with you asking them how their semester is going. Through Google Meet is how I do the orals online, so students can be sitting wherever they feel most comfortable, and they're a little less intimidated if they're not sitting in the professor's office.